So today this session we will made a contactless switch using the Arduino and a gesture sensor and a OLED display. So this contactless switch is very helpful for us in the time of this pandemic COVID-19 because the more we use the touchless thing, the more we got ourselves prevented from the COVID-19 virus and other germs that might affect our health. And the switch ports are one of the most common thing that we touch in daily life. Like whenever you go, whatever you go, whenever you came from the outside, one thing that you must touch the switch to turn your light, fans off and on. And during this thing, the chances of transfer of germs and virus to your body get exceeded. So I have thought, why not let's make a switch or touchless so that we can control everything just by the gesture. And also, when you go for the lift, escalator, or the switches in the office, so these switches are touched and used by a lots of people in daily life. Like suppose that you go to the lift or escalator and you touch the switch of want to go to the second floor, so you touch the switch. When you touch the switch, there is chance of getting the germs transferred to your hand. So I want to solve this problem by doing some DIY kind of things that can help us in eliminating the physical touch with the switchboard. That's why I've tried to make this contactless switchboard. So for this contactless switchboard, one of the basic thing that we need is a switchboard cover, so where we set all the things like and do the wires connections. So let's try this project by collecting the components that we need in this project. So one of the basic thing that we need in this project is APDS 9960 sensor, and there you can see it here. It's the APDS 9960 sensor. So APDS 9, this is you can see here the pic of APDS 9960 sensor. So we use this sensor to recognize our gesture. This sensor have a, a VCC pin, a ground pin that connect to the Arduino ground pin, and VCC connect to the Arduino 3-volt pin or 5-volt pin. This board is compatible with both the voltage, 3-volt or 5-volt, and then you have to connect the SCL and SDA pin. As you can see, it have a SCL and SDA pin, so you can clearly assume that this is a I2C interface based sensor. So we will communicate with this sensor using I2C or by using the using its library and a two-wire library in the Arduino. And next thing, we need a microcontroller. So the microcontroller, we are going to use it Arduino Pro Micro and Arduino Mini. Why I'm using the Arduino Pro Micro is because these Arduino Pro Micro and Arduino Pro Mini or Arduino Nano are so small and compact in size between the length of 4.5 to 6 centimeters, something between that. These microcontroller, and they are so thin and very small in size, so it is very easy to use and takes less space than Arduino Uno, and you can solder the wire easily with the pins of these Arduino development board and make connection easily. And when you make the project with this Arduino Pro Micro and Mini, in comparison to the Arduino Uno, your project cost will be less, and also it also takes very small space. So that's why I'm using Arduino Pro Micro and Arduino Pro Mini here. And then we need a triggering thing that will actually trigger out the lights and fans or whatever the electrical appliances we want to control from that switch. So for that we need a relay board. A relay board is a electromechanical type of device that actually controls the electrical appliances by moving the plunger inside the relay board. Actually, relay board have an electromagnet. So when you magnetize the coil, a plunger moves towards the electromagnetized coil, uh, and it makes a certain connection between the two pins. And when you turn off the power to the coil or de-energizes the coils, then the plunger moves to its own original position and cuts off the light. So in this way, the relay board works. So whenever the left gesture is recognized, it set the pin 8 to high, and by getting the pin 8 to high, the relay board energizes and it turns the light on. So this is how the things works. So here I have some demo video how it works. So you can see here I am going to start a video here for you. Whenever give a particular gesture like left, the light will turn off. Whenever you give the particular gesture right, the light will turn on. So this is how the things works. And here I have also set a OLED display. So this is how the things works like this. And here I have another video. So after getting everything connected, you have to set everything inside the switchboard like this. Suppose you have to open the switchboard and then you have to fix the relay board inside that, and then make a connection with the light pin. The live wire pin goes to the relay NO pin, that is now common pin, that is relay common pin, and then the then the light pin, that is the yellow pin, goes to the NO pin, normally open pin. So we have a two connection here from the live current that is connected to the common pin of the relay board, and a uh, and a yellow wire of the light that is connected to the NO pin, that is normally open pin of the relay board. And then you have to set it inside the switchboard and fix it there. And next, you have to put the Arduino here like this. As you can see, the Arduino Pro Micro is so thin, and whole sensor and OLED display and Arduino got fixed in the switchboard like this, and it didn't take much a space in comparison to Arduino Uno board. So you can see we have to do the connection like this, and we have to fix the thing like this. You can fix the Arduino gesture sensor and all this thing on the switchboard, and with the help of some hot glue gun, or by the Febiquick, or by the cello tape, or by something by which you can fix the Arduino. You have to fix it on the switchboard like this. So this is how the everything got fixed inside your switchboard. And in the front of the switchboard, you have to remove that part, so that the gesture sensor have able to recognize your hand gesture, and you can also see the hand gesture in the OLED display. What is the gesture recognized by the gesture sensor in this OLED display, as you can see here. So this is how you can fix everything here. So after getting everything like everything fixed inside the switchboard, here I have not included the OLED display. You can also include the OLED display as per your choice, because OLED display will make it look more cool like this, and it can also give you the estimation and also visualize what is the gesture recognized by the sensor like this. Like whenever it recognizes the up gesture, it will display it on the OLED display. I am showing you. So whatever the gesture is recognized by the sensor, the OLED display will show you you have the gesture set for the light, and here if the gesture is recognized as a left gesture, and on the left gesture the light is turned on. So you can see everything on the OLED display, what is the thing Arduino is processing on that gesture. So this OLED display is optional. You can also eliminate if you want to cut off the total cost. So after fixing everything, you will also need one more thing here, a DC adapter. So by which you can power the Arduino Uno board. So you can set the DC adapter in the back side of the board, and then connect it to the power source, so that the Arduino get 5-volt output, and it power the relay, the sensor, and the OLED display using the DC adapter. Or you can power it through external power source. I have used the external power source, a 5-volt power source, that you can see two wires coming from here. So this is how the lights turn on and off up on the gesture. At the light on. on the right turn off. So this is how the things work. So here is the code in the loop function I have said. Suppose that first we will check the gesture from the gesture sensor. You can see it here. Uh, you can see it here, the gesture sensor. I am getting the gesture of hand using this piece of code, and after that we will create a several if condition by which we will set the function to the gesture. Like if the gesture sensor have recognized the gesture as a down, then we have set we have set that gesture as a light off function. So whenever I give the down gesture to the gesture sensor, the light will turn off piece of code. I have also set a serial println and this symbol. So this symbol helps us in debugging and also in letting us know what are the gesture is recognized by the gesture sensor. So in serial monitor, whenever you give any gesture, it will show in the serial monitor of your laptop that this gesture is recognized as this symbol and this symbol. So for up and down, I have set here for the light function and left and right for the fan function. So if I give the left gesture, the fan will turn off. If I give the right gesture, the fan is turn. So you can customize this code as of your own by changing these functions and this pin number. You can also extend this with different Arduinos and with a combination of different Arduino and gesture sensor. So you can control whole room by the gesture sensor, or you can also add a Bluetooth thing in this thing. So you can customize it in own way. And if you want to add the OLED display, so you have to also set here for OLED display function. Like whenever the gesture is recognized on the OLED display, will do the something like it display the light, it whether turn on or not. APDS 9960 sensor is quite expensive. Is there any alternative? Uh, if you want to get the switchboard to work perfectly on the left swipe, right swipe, and the up and down gesture, then you have to use the APTS 9960 sensor. But if you want to replace it with much lesser cost, then you have to use a proximity sensor. But these proximity sensor are not very good to use because this proximity sensor can give can sense the proximity by whenever someone comes close to the sensor, it get automatically triggered. Light will automatically get triggered. So proximity sensor not that good in use. But yes, if you want to reduce the cost, you can use the proximity sensor. But I recommend you to use APDS 9960 sensor. Yes, you can use the IR sensor rather than 9 APDS 9960 sensor, but you face lots of problem in the IR sensor. One of the first problem you say faced in the IR sensor, there or whenever you pass by the switch in the proximity with switch, the right bit automatically get triggered even if you don't want. That's why I use the APDS 9960 sensor, because APDS 9960 sensor only trigger the light when it get the particular what's a particular gesture. So that's why I've used it. Do you have any plan to create any board other than Arduino? Yeah, you can create with any another board rather than Arduino. Like you can create it with any ST micro development board, or by any Sony Experience development board, ESP32 development board. You can create this thing with any development board. Whatever the choice of development board that you have, you can create this thing. But at the same time, you need to do some changes in the code for that. But you and one thing you have to keep in mind that board must have the I2C interface, because the sensor work on the I2C interface. So if your development board have I2C interface, then only you can get the gesture from the sensor. Working principle of APTS 9960 sensor. Yeah, it's a wonderful question. Working principle of APTS 9960 sensor is based on actually it is basically based on the proximity as well. Actually, it's emit a light, and it has the light is IR light, and it has a receiver, a photodiode that sense the interrupt of light. So whenever you move the hand in particular direction, it captures the movement of the interruption of the light, and then it will convert those interruptions in uh, interruptions of light by by your hand into certain gesture, and then it will recognize the certain gesture and give you output as it has recognized it as a left gesture, right gesture, up gesture, down gesture, so something like that, whatever it was. So it is basically based on the proximity, so that whenever you put the hand on above the gesture sensor, APDS 9960 sensor, the light from from higher LED get interrupted by your hand, and the reflected light from the hand is received by another photodiode, and it will process then to recognize the gesture. So this is all the working principle behind the APDS 9960 sensor. How there are many possibility for accident gesture recognized in crowd lift. Uh, yeah, it might be the possibility, but it's very less possibility to get recognized, gesture get recognized, because gesture sensor recognized only if it is a perfect right swipe or left swipe or up and down swipe. So you have to do perfectly, you have to perfectly perform that left gesture in front of the sensor. Otherwise, if it get a mix of certain gesture, then it will not recognize that. So very less chance of accident gesture recognition. Can one sensor be connected to all the lights in single room? Uh, with the one gesture sensor, you can control up to two things, a light, fan, or any two things, because for the same gesture, a left light and up and down, you have to turn it on and off. So you can control two things. If you want to extend it with further other two things, then you have to use the push thing like that. Like suppose that it will get the up gesture, then it will turn the light off, then it will again get the up gesture, then turn the light off. So in this way you can control uh, with the same gesture up to two things. So with the four gesture you can control up to the uh, four things. So this is how you can extend. You have to do some modification with the code as well. Sensor cost. The sensor cost me around 300 rupees. You can get it from the kits and spares or something, any online websites. There are lots of online websites, or you can get it from the local market as well. If you have a nearby electronics shop that sells those things. If you live in Delhi, you can get it easily in the market, and if you it depends on the area. So if you have electronics shop nearby, you can get it from there, or you can get it from any online uh, shopping websites. Relay specification. I have used a 5 volt relay board that can able to control the light light and fan having 220 volt voltage power supply, AC power supply. So the relay board works on 5 volt DC, and it can control the appliances having 220 110 to 220 volt or 250 volt. Is it possible to create our own mobile app using Arduino? You can create mobile application using any Toddler, or you can say the Android Studio to give the signal to the Arduino from Bluetooth, and then you can control the thing. So you have to make some connection between your Android phone and between the Arduino. You either using Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or something else, or you can buy the OTG. Which is the best online place to buy the sensor and OLED display? You can get the sensors and OLED from anywhere. You can get it from the kits and spares, and any another website that sells the online components. So OLED displays and sensor can easily be found on online shopping applications and online shopping websites. Can we use same gesture for two adjacent APTS sensor? You have to connect as gesture sensor work on I square C interface. So Arduino is I square C interface are capable of multi-master, multi-slave things. So you can connect multiple gesture sensor to a single Arduino board, and you can control different lights. So you have single Arduino board and have connected 2, 3, 4 gesture sensor to the same Arduino board, and that trigger the another lights and all the other things. Can you involve IoT in your project? Yeah, you can add the IoT thing in the project by Bluetooth or by ESP32. You can use the same project with the ESP32 and then extend it to the IoT, like getting the lights data over the Wi-Fi or triggering the lights from your phone, something like that. Whatever you want to do, you can customize the code. The code is the code and project available at www.electronicsforyu.com. You can get the code and project whole demonstration thing on the electronicsforyu.com websites, and you can also get the video demonstration and all the things how the project is made on the tech drive. You can go and subscribe the channel from there and can get the whole details and demonstration of the project and all other exciting projects from the tech drive as well. So okay, thank you all for. Hope you got a lots of learning from this session. Thanks a lot.